All right, everybody, how y'all doing? And welcome back to my channel. What you see in front of me here is the Ryzen 3 4100. I ordered it. It finally came in after I had to go ahead on and track the mishaps of the delivery driver because he dropped it off in the wrong building at the wrong address. Once I talked to the property manager of the building he dropped it off at, he helped me retrieve my package out of the outgoing mailbox. This was Wednesday. So he helped me retrieve the outgoing mailbox, and I finally have it in front of you. Now, the processor is the Ryzen 3 4100. I have recently added my silicone power 16 gigabyte, that's two 8 gigabyte sticks at 32 megahertz in my entertainment rig, which only allows me to watch Hulu, Netflix, etc. That keeps me from buying any APK devices like Fire Sticks, Roku, etc., Apple TV, etc. because they constantly got to be updated. So that means you have to buy a new one. I avoided that by building me a nice, good, comfortable system that I can watch my little movies and stuff on my time. So, with that said, I'm on the Ryzen 3 1300X, which is a beast processor. It holds base is 3.5 gigahertz, 4 cores, 4 threads. It boosts up to 3.7, but with the Ryzen 3 4100, which you see here, which are going to get out the package soon, goes up to 3.8 gigahertz base with the boost of 4 gigahertz. Now, I don't need to boost it because 3.8 is the highest, and I love it. So let's stop talking. Let's go ahead and get it out the boxing. One thing I like about it, the seller who sold it to me, he's overseas. He was patient, and I love his patience because I had to locate my package after the stupid delivery driver dropped it off at the wrong complex. Now, the delivery complex is Uni Uni. Y'all heard of them. They suck, they're garbage, they trash. And for people who deliver overseas, go ahead on and use FedEx or United States Postal Service. If we have to pay shipping and handling, we will pay it instead of our packages getting dropped off. This company, Uni Uni, delivery driver drops everybody packages off at the wrong location. Alrighty, back to the video. One thing I like about the seller, he handled it with good care. I mean, it's used. Now, these are Ryzen 3 4100 CPUs going off of Amazon for like $68 to $75. 4 cores, 8 thread is your basic ideal for basic office clerical systems. You don't do too much with it, such as browsing the internet, watching Hulu, Netflix, etc., or doing some very light gaming. And I will be adding those links from different gamers who have brought this to CPU and gaming off of it as we speak in today's society with no issues. At 1080p regular context. Now, if you want to update your GPU, you can on a more high-end, high refresh monitor. But a lot of people have not upgraded their monitors, and they're still on basic 720p and 1080p. So let's get into the unboxing. And just like I said, I mentioned how the seller took good care of the product. There's no issues. I love it. And he included some thermal paste. It looks good. Very thick. This is the kind of thermal paste that will be drying and keep your CPU cool with no issues and great stability. Here's the processor. Yes, y'all see her. The Ryzen 3 4100. Y'all see her. Y'all see her. Yes, y'all do. And it is 4 cores, 8 threads with a base of 3.8 gigahertz and a boost of 4 gigahertz. Now, what I'm going to be doing now is switching over to explain the specs, why I'm switching it, and then after that, I'm going to update the BIOS, then installation. All right, everybody, now we're on phase 2. Now we are going over the specs of why I'm choosing to move from the Ryzen 3 1300X, which is a great processor. Sorry about that, viewers. Which is a great processor. 4 cores, 4 threads, and 4 cores and 8 threads are for basic clerical systems. You cannot go wrong with it, and you cannot have any issues with that. Now, for gaming purposes on both of them, you got to know what you're throwing at it. Basically, when you build your system, you got to know what you're putting together and how you building it. Now, we all know the latest modern hardcore games from EA Sports and AAA are hardcore demanding on both CPUs and GPU. So if you playing games like Call of Duty, the newer version, CS:GO 2, and etc., that requires more power from the CPU and the GPU, then this processor may not be for you. But if you're going to do some light editing, etc., like 1080p editing, etc., stuff like that, then this processor will be good for you. Now let's go ahead and get right into everything, so you know why I love choosing it. Now, as you see, the Ryzen 3 1300X is 4 cores, 4 threads, thermal design power 65 watts, base is 3.5 gigahertz, boost is 3.7 gigahertz, code name is Zen. This is the very first processor that AMD came out with in July 27, 2017, with 4 cores, 4 threads for basic office clerical systems. But in today's society, when the CPU came out in July 27, 2017, everybody was using it for gaming and throwing hardcore games at it and demoralizing the CPU itself. And this is where it comes to a lot of PC enthusiasts don't understand the structuring of using or building a system. When you build a system, you got to know how you use it and what you're throwing at it. Now, on the Zen architecture, the RAM support is DDR4 2666 megahertz. It has catch 1 is 96 kilobits per core, catch 2 is 512 kilobits per core, and catch 3 is 8 megabit shared. Launch date was July 27, 2017, and the price of launch date was $129. So yes, pretty much this was your budget-friendly processor back in those days, but then they started coming out with the Ryzen 3 2200G, the Ryzen 3 3200G, the Ryzen 3 4100, and etc. on the Ryzen 3 product line. Now, I'm stepping up to the Ryzen 3 4100. As I said, it has 4 cores, 8 threads, thermal design power then changes 65 watt thermal design bar power, but the base is 3.8 gigahertz. Now, my base range is from 3.5. When I found out this was a little bit under, I said, okay, I'll deal with it. 3.4 is still a little fast and snappy. It's better than 2.9 or 3.0, and I still get strong productivity from it. So I'm stepping up to 3.8 gigahertz. The boost is 4 gigahertz. Code name is Renor. RAM support is DDR4 3200 megahertz. If you put in DDR4 3600 megahertz or DDR4 4000 megahertz, it's going to read as 3200 megahertz because of the processor itself. So keep that in mind. When you put this processor in, you can only go up to DDR4 3200 gigahertz of speed on your RAM. Catch, I stepped down a little bit, is 64 kilobit per core. Catch 2 is 512 kilobit per core, which is about the same. And catch 3 is 8 megabit shared per shared. So that's not really the same. Only thing different is the catch 1. So it's moving a little faster, a little snappier, and I got more threads to handle more logistic from the memory, and any programs I throw at it, it's going to read it, move it smooth, move it quickly without any issues. The launch date was this processor came out April 4th, 2022. So yes, it's a 3-year-old processor, still good for office clerical. So if you want to sit down here and put your system together with 4 cores, 8 threads, and you are doing stock quotes, you sitting at your desk watching the stock line bars go up, so when they drop, it'll let you know when to sell, and you start pulling out, collecting your money. This process will be good for that. If you editing videos, 4 cores, 8 threads, 1080p, perfect. just like I said, none of us don't watch anything in 4K or 2K because who do that? And nobody had time to be updating their monitors. But if you updated your monitor, then you might want to think about updating your GPU as well too, because the higher monitors come with high refresh and 144 megahertz or higher. So you might want to think about putting a stronger GPU just to go ahead and renders the images perfectly on your monitor. But for 4 cores A30, it will do everything I want it to do. No issues, no stress. And now the next thing comes up now is for me to update the BIOS on my entertainment PC. So let's get right into that. All right, now we are going to be updating the BIOS. I already put the BIOS on a flash drive. I'll be putting videos in the description below for people who don't know how to update their BIOS and want to use a new CPU on their system. Now keep in mind, to do everything, you got to be on a working CPU that's going to go ahead and give you the post screen. And then once you get the post screen, you're going to go ahead on and click into your BIOS settings by hitting the delete button on your keyboard. You're going to hit this button here repeatedly as it boots up. The delete button is right there. You're going to be tapping it like that. And you go from there. So now what I'm going to be doing now here is I'm going to be installing her in this system right here. This is my entertainment system there. She's a beauty. I love her. Now, just like I said, she's recently now on the Ryzen 3 1300X, which I went over that there, 4 cores, 4 threads, 3.5 base with the 3.7 boost, or the 3.4 base with the 3.7 boost. Pretty good, decent CPU for office clerical use only. And basically powering up the monitors, watching YouTube, your Hulu, Netflix, etc., because we all know once you go ahead on and update and stay current with these new APK devices such as Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, Google Nest, etc., that allows you to watch streaming apps on your television. You're going to have to update the devices. When a new device come out, that device gets discontinued. Now, in the past with Fire TV, I have brought 2 devices that was $49.99 a piece. You can say $50, that's $100, and they both of them are discontinued. So I decided to go ahead and build me a mainframe, as you see right here. That's my mainframe. And I say, you know what? I don't have to worry about updating her anymore. I can just go ahead and watch anything I want to watch and enjoy watching my TV series on my 55-inch 4K/1080p TV. So, now what I'm going to be doing here, as you see, I'm going to be plugging her in the back. So we can go ahead and have full strong ability into that. She is in the back. And then I'm going to turn her on. Swing her back over to the monitor. Hit the delete button. All right. There we go. We are into the BIOS. So what you want to do is go to, it's in Tools, where it's going to say Instant Flash. You're going to go ahead and click on that button there. And there's the version itself. I already downloaded from Asrock website. So like I said, everything I'm talking about in the video will be in the description below. And if you want to go ahead on and game off the Ryzen 3 4100 for light gaming. Notice I said the keyword light. If you want a mid-level rig, you got to be on the Ryzen 5 3600, 6 cores, 12 threads, for more better smooth stability on these high-end monitors and upgrade the graphic card. Now, the videos I will be putting in at the end of the video, the videos I will be putting in are from gamers who game off this in the current current stage in 2025 with the Ryzen 3 4100. They gaming off of it with the GTX 1660 Super, 6 gigabyte of VRAM. So now I'll be putting those videos in the link. If you want to subscribe to the channel or just join them in some gameplay, then go ahead on and subscribe to the channel and take it from there. So now back to the update. When you are updating your BIOS, do not shut your system off, because once you do, you have corrupted the BIOS automatically. So you have corrupted the BIOS and you will not have no stability in getting back to a post screen. The board has to go back out for repairs. That they clear out the BIOS with the stupidity you did wrong. So in the near future, when you update your BIOS to newcomers, do not shut your computer down. If you have severe lightning in your area, just wait till the lightning storm goes, because when your lightning blinks the power out while you're updating, your board is shot. So now what we're going to do is hit the update button, because that's the one I'm updating to 7.20. That will hold the Renoir Ryzen 3 4100 CPU. Hit update. Do you want to update the UEFI? Yes. Invalid file. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be go ahead on and downloading a better version of this here, and then we're going to go ahead and take it from there. All right, everybody, I am back. As you see, I got a new flash drive, and what I did was re-download another BIOS version of 7.20. On this flash drive, I went to their website, so the other file was corrupted, so I don't know how that happened. But we're going to go ahead on and go through with it as we see. Now I'm plugging it in the back of the system. All right, she's in, ready to go. Now you're going to go ahead on the C, go to Tools, go to Instant Flash. Alrighty. We're going to update. Yes. Invalid file again. Why? I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead on and download another one, updating the flash drive for this here. So give me about a minute or so, and I'll be right back. Alright, everybody, thank y'all for bearing with me. I had never had any issues with updating the BIOS. What I'm trying to do is update the BIOS from version 4.0 to version 7.2. That didn't work, so I went ahead on and downloaded another one, the 710, to support the Renoir processors. So let's see if this works. If it is, I'm going to have to do it off camera to see what's going on. All right, I got 710 here. Yes. Invalid file. I don't know why it's doing this. Let me see if I could go ahead on and, because I might have to go ahead on and push all this off the flash drive where there is no recording done, because this is ridiculous. The Easy RAD installer. I did that there. Advanced. That's the tool for that. Instant flash. Okay, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be doing this here off camera, and that's how you do it. You download your file and you take it from there. So we are going to go ahead on and be updating this BIOS off camera. Give me about 30 minutes to an hour. All right, everybody, we are back for the third attempt. What I did was this time I left the files in the folder, and Asrock BIOS is different. I remember doing that there when I updated to the 3600 and as well as the Ryzen 1300X. I took the file out. I did get an invalid file, so I left the files in the folder, and we are going to see if this works. Now you see it's reading both of them, so I'm gonna go with the one I want to download. invalid file. Let's try the other one. Invalid file. So what I'm going to do is figure this out again with a different USB file drive. So let's go ahead on and go to attempt number 4. Stand by. All right, everybody, we are back. This time, what I did was, when I found out what I was doing wrong, I did not format my USB to a FAT32 file. Asrock always recommend you that you format to a FAT32 so it can read everything properly. I did that the hard way. Was I had it on FAT. I put the BIOS up there and I got invalid information. So let's do it right and let's see if the information is concurrent. Alrighty, yep. We're going to update. Yes. And invalid. Okay, this is getting frustrating here. I don't know why it's doing that, but it starts ticking and then it comes off. So I'm going to try it another way. And I'm going to go ahead on and do the final touch of the video when I finally updated the damn BIOS. Because I never had any issues updating this BIOS. Alright, everybody, what is going on here? I have tried so many attempts to update the BIOS. I went to the Asrock website, downloaded the proper motherboard, and it's not allowing me to update the BIOS file to what I need to update the BIOS for the Ryzen 3 4100. So I'm gonna go with another option. I'm gonna take the motherboard out, this whole system here. I'll be working with it on the side because I didn't have no issues when I had the Ryzen 5 3600 on it, and I didn't have no issues with updating, putting the Ryzen 3 1300X, which reads it perfectly. But I had no issues with this motherboard for almost 3 years now. So I'm gonna go ahead on with the Asus Prime A320M-K, and I hope that this motherboard don't give me any issues. So basically what I'm going to be doing here is stripping my code key off so I can reinstall everything all over again. Here we go. Alright, just like I said, I took the Asrock A320M-HDV R4.0 because I'm having issues updating the BIOS to handle the new Ryzen 3 4100. Now I'm switching back to my Asus Prime A320M-K, as you see right there. I don't want to go back to it, but I'm have to because I'm to the point where I am tired of buying hardware over and over again. Like I said, sometimes this motherboard works perfectly, sometimes this motherboard don't work perfectly. On the Asrock motherboard, the A320 HDV R4.0, I don't know what happened. I downloaded the BIOS. I know how to update BIOS. I've been doing this here for 20 some odd years, and that was the first time that I get an invalid file on the BIOS update. So I had put all the BIOS from so and so on. I put the APU, which is Advanced Processor User, which is now known as iGPUs, the A12 9800. I tried to boot that up, and it's still giving me an invalid. I downloaded the file about 12 times. Formatted my USB drive to F32. Everything is fine. It should be no issues in updating the motherboard. Now, when I did buy it from Amazon, I guess the user sold it to me as used, and he probably destroyed it. But it was on version P4 4.0. The BIOS on the Asrock motherboard was set to P4.0, which updates the Matisse processors, the Ryzen 5 3600. It reads all the APUs, the Athlon processors, as well as the first gen processors. But any other processors on their motherboard, you're going to have issues updating the BIOS. This motherboard here, my Prime A320M-K, is already up to 62023. So it's going to read the processor perfectly, which is right here. It's going to read the processor perfectly, as you see. And I should have no issues. So what I'm going to do first now is I'm going to go ahead and put my M.2 in, so I can go ahead and speed everything up. I was supposed to have been done with this 2 hours ago, and I'm very frustrated. Now, once I'm done doing that, I got to install the operating system on it. So, all right, that's in. Now put the screw back in. And I wanted me a nice good cup of coffee, and I didn't have no good cup of coffee there. So now the CPU, which is the Ryzen 3 4100. Y'all kind of excuse this because this is I'm trying to, do this thing perfectly. It's in there perfectly. It's not in that good. Now I'm gonna use the paste, the cooler paste for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it. He provided it for me, so that's a good blessing. And I'm just gonna lay a nice good dab of it right there. That's all you need. I have a knack of using too much CPU paste, but it is what it is. We're just gonna go ahead and get this thing going. Before I do anything, let me go ahead and put my memory sticks in. I forgot to do that. Go ahead and add my memory sticks. One in. Once you hear that double click, you're good to go. Y'all probably saying, "Oh, well, Ron, why you don't like using the memory with the heat sinks on it? Because they too bulky and sometimes it affects the clearance height of the cooler." So to avoid complications, I'm just old school. I stick to stuff that works for me. So now, whatever y'all want to use for y'all systems, that's on you guys. I don't care because y'all building y'all system for yourselves. Alrighty, so now that's on. Little quick process. Ain't nothing too heavy. This is the Snowman CPU cooler. It handles up to 130 watt thermal design power, and it fits perfectly, clears up the RAM perfectly. Just like I said, if I had bulky heat sinks, I won't be able to get this on. And I do love low profile coolers. So now the next stage is to fire up and see do I get a post. All right, everybody, as you see, everything is connected. She got power going through, the LEDs are lit, so I got no issues with that. Now it's the moment of truth where she posts and give me a post screen to the BIOS so we can read the CPU. That's all I need to see. Now the thing here is I might be buying another motherboard. I am so sick and tired of spending money on hardware. Just annoying. I'm very frustrated, so I will be working with that Asrock motherboard because that's my favorite company. So now we're gonna go ahead and do the moment of truth. Power's on. Alrighty, thank God. Thank God. She posted, baby. She has posted. Yes, she did. As you can see, Ryzen 3 4100 4-core 8-thread at speeds of 3800 megahertz. Now, just like I said, this will be my entertainment PC finally. And I could go ahead on and do my thing. I forgot to plug the thing in, so I don't have no keyboard detected right now. So, but I'm gonna plug it in right now. She should be detected soon. Now, y'all excuse me with the pauses and everything. Oh, everything's all over the place. So, everything is up and running, and she is moving. And thanks to my Snowman CPU cooler that kicks off thermal design power of 130 watts, handle it off any CPU. If we go over that, then this baby gonna be overheating. So, but other than that, she posted. Everything's fine. Now I just got to go ahead on and hit F1. All right, she's set, ready to go. Both of us set at 32 megahertz, 3800. Both memories reading at 16384 because I got 2 sticks. There we go. And all I have to do now is install the operating system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead on and try to get this baby set up. And she is good and running. I got to go ahead and update the time and everything. So she's good and going. My CPU RAM is at 790. But I'm gonna go ahead and kick that up a notch. I'm gonna do that right now. Let me see this on standard. Everything's set for us. I like it in turbo. Now y'all keep in mind, I know, just like I said to all the new schoolers that love new hardware, I know we updated. I don't mind the CPU noise fan. I don't mind the fans because back in the early 80s and 90s, we had 80 millimeter fans and 92 millimeter fans kicking high end. So I don't mind the noise. Some of y'all hate the noise now. Better technology, that's what I like, but I am up and running. And that's all she wrote, baby. Yes, that's all she wrote. Exit out. For 4 pipes, she kicking good. And this is 65 watts, so I don't have to worry about anything. And this disabled, that's perfect. Let's keep it that way. So we good to go. So now I'm doing nothing. CPU temps is at 37. Motherboard is at 35 Celsius, so we good to go. 33.8 megahertz. If I want to boost it, it goes up to 4 megahertz. You can't game off this here. So, by me mentioning gaming, gaming is not basic high-end gaming. This is your basic light gaming. You could put the GTX 1660 Super or the RTX 2070, 8 gigabyte of VRAM. Now, if you have this CPU and if you want to use more VRAM, that's up to you. Change out your CPU, change out your motherboard to something you can handle if you're overclocking it. I don't do that, so everything is fine, up and running. I'm happy. Now I'm going to install Windows 10 again because I had to erase everything off the off the M.2, and that's it. So now what I'm going to be doing here is installing Windows. I'm not going to film it. I'll be putting it back into the case, which I'm going to bring it to you. I'll be putting it back in here. As y'all see, back in she goes. Yep, back in the T7, and take it from there. All right, and then I'll go ahead on and give y'all my closing, and that's it.